Productions. I'm Intox along with
BDot, baby.
Hey, let's get it, bro.
Welcome to episode 135. What's going on? As you can see, BDot's not here, but I am. Y'all ready to go on a goddamn adventure? Let's do it. It's been a while since I've been by myself. Remember I talked about last time it's hard. Not hard, but it's a tough situation carrying a show by yourself, especially for hours at a time. You know, some people do it daily. It's crazy. I've seen it on the internet. People that just post shows every single day, hours long sometimes or whatever, you know. And then there's some people that do it once or twice a week and they go 3-4 hours at a time. It just depends on what you're into, I guess. But I don't know. Episode 135. Where are we going to go today, folks? What do we got in store? Well, definitely going to play a song today. I got a song from the old Congressman album, the first one. What is it called? We Approve This Message. I got a song for there that we're going to play a little bit later. Once we get into a little bit. I don't know. Let's start with something in the news nowadays. I think the biggest thing in the news right now is Texas floods down in Kerrville area. I got family down in San Antonio. I was just there a couple weeks ago. So they're an hour or so away from that situation, and talking to some of my folks back home, doesn't seem like anybody is in that area that, you know, from our family. So I think we're doing okay for the most part. And, you know, and the thing is with stuff like this, right, you got to remember, we've talked about this, that the deep state, the cabal, the reptilians, the ones, it's who we're against at this point, right? It's like who is the enemy? They're kicking and screaming. They're going to try every little thing to you know, disrupt everybody's lives. The thing is what we got to realize is that there's also white hats, which are the good guys, right? Those guys are also in the background, and they're doing things. And so sometimes some of these things that look like you could look at these, there's different ways to look at this flood, right? So you could look at this flood like the darkness brought in this situation in order to disrupt people's lives and to create chaos and to create fear and to do all these things, right? But you could also look at it as the white hats let it happen because they're involved. And part of it was to flood out some of these areas, these underground areas, these underground bunkers, these different things where these people are hiding. And so it looks like a natural disaster. It seems like a natural disaster. People are, you know, unalived at this point. But how do we know they're good people? How do we know they're not just on TV kicking and screaming? You know, just like everything else. Like everything else going on. Every time there's something that's fearful, every time there's something, you know, that's pushing against the idea, they want you to get in your emotions involved. They want you to be in there so they can steal your loosh and work with your energies because you got all this fear built up. That's what they're going for. But, you know, that's not how we look at it. If we look at it like, you know what, this was all done for their greater good, for the greater good. And I say that in a way of not being disingenuous with the situation, not trying to say, you know, people didn't have a tough time or people aren't having a tough time or nothing like that. I'm not saying all that, you know, but that's the negative way to look at this. Because you got to think, if God's involved, none of the people that were unalived are really gone. He just moved them. If you're a good person, he just goes in there, snatches you out, and puts you somewhere else on a different dimension, on a different level. I posted something on my stories on Instagram the other day. It's something we've talked about here as well. And it went to the idea of that the high, like take a fan, right? The fan, you see it. You see the blades before you turn it on. You see the blades. But the second you turn it on, it starts spinning so fast that the blades start to just disappear. It's like they don't exist. They're moving so fast you can see right through them. So that comes down to frequency, vibration, and all that stuff, right? So if you're vibrating, if you're in that love energy, you're in that authentic energy, you're in that high vibe state, you're not letting anything pull you down. Well, think about that. If you're vibing high, that means your frequency's up. You're going to get to a point where certain things, negative energies and different things, don't even see you. They don't even affect you because you're invisible to them. Just like those fan blades are invisible when they're spinning. So if you spin fast enough, if you vibrate fast enough, nothing's affecting you. What's really going on here? We got to get into that mode. That's the mode we're trying to get into. Think about that. We see it every day. It happens around us all the time. But when we talk about our own selves doing these things, everybody wants to act like it's nonsense, like it's crazy, that's not what science says. Are you still trusting science? Because we've talked about that before, remember? Science isn't what it's cracked up to be. Not the science we know of right now, because science. Look up the definition of science, and you'll realize that it's constantly making changes, constantly figuring out new angles, constantly figuring out if it really works. Because otherwise it's just a theory until you can prove different things. And then from there, people will improve on those things. And that's science. Why is that so hard to figure out, people? We've let these people fucking confuse us so much. We don't even know what's going on. Hey, let's get it, bro. You have to think about it like this, right? When I'm looking up topics, when I'm looking through documentaries, when I'm watching podcasts, when I'm listening to people, I'm not just taking them word for word and going, okay, that must be the truth. It resonates with me. It makes sense. I listen to it and I go, that makes sense. Okay, I can work with that. But it doesn't stop there. Now I got to go look the information up. If somebody says, back in 1850, when there was a fire in London in this building or whatever, and it's like the first building that ever fell from a fire, like a 30, 40-story building or something, right? Well, you got to go look that up and see, did that really happen? Where did it happen? When did it happen? Is the information correct? So you go look things up, and that's how you cross-reference from something somebody says. But then also that sends you on a spiral because now you're looking up other stuff and other things. And this is all to go back to like 9/11, right? There's only like 3 or 4 buildings ever in the world that have been destroyed by fire. Tall skyscrapers and things like that. And 9/11's like half of it. So you're like, this has never happened before, ever in the world, except for 1 or 2 places here and there. But it happened twice, 3 times in one day. It was 3 buildings that fell that day. So, but that's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to get into 9/11 conspiracies at this moment. But I'm just trying to show you that if you go and look at this information, you start to see other information that correlates with it. And that's the idea. That's the research. That's the work, Think about another thing in the news nowadays right now. Everybody's talking about this alligator Alcatraz, right? And I heard of it. I really didn't pay much attention to it. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me it's just a detention center. I get it. But the thing is how many detention centers do you even understand are in this country right now? Because if you were paying attention like me 20 something years ago, when we were looking up intern camps and all these different things across the nation, there's like 1,800 of them. Did you know Walmarts can be turned into them? Did you know hospitals can be turned into them? Did you know Army bases, Navy bases, all these different bases can be turned into these things really fast? See, that's the information y'all don't have yet. That's the information you don't know. So when you see things like Alligator Alcatraz, it's like, okay, you're just showing me one of your bases you have, because I know there's thousands of them. And so this is the information that I was gathering 20 some years ago. You know, we've talked about it in one of the past episodes. Y'all remember the coffins? They had all these coffins in Georgia back in like 2005. And everybody's like, what is this all about? And that's the time. That's the information. Because I told y'all, when 9/11 hit in 2001, that woke me up to a point of something doesn't feel right about all this. Because the day before, Rumsfeld is having a conference, and he's talking about $2.5 trillion that the Pentagon can't even account for. And then the next day, the Pentagon gets hit and everybody forgets about it. Nobody's asking questions about where that money went. You see what I'm saying? And everybody wants to talk about, well, how do you know what this means? And how do you know what this is? And you got to pay attention. That's part of it. But the other part is watching shows like this. Come check out Awkward Intelligence. Go look up, different people. Rod Hayes, King Smarty, different people on the internet. You look up these people and they're talking about all these things. They're trying to give you insight into what's happening, the extras that are happening that you're not privy to, because they have information that just comes to them, just like other people have information that comes to them. Not everybody has all the answers, but if you listen to enough angles, you start to get a picture. You start to get an idea of what the picture really is. That's all I'm trying to say.
Hey, let's get it, bro.
So, when it comes to, think about it like this. Someone the other day sent me some stuff on Instagram, and it was talking about Bill Gates dimming out the sun and, putting the mRNA stuff in our food and in the pork and the beef and different stuff like that, right? And with no research whatsoever, they just believe it and start telling people. They're calling people. They're like, oh, did you hear about this shit? Bill Gates is doing this. And I'm sitting there in the background going, Bill Gates is unalived. He's been gone for a while. All of this is scare tactic bullshit. But people believe it because they saw it on TikTok. But I say stuff that actually makes sense. And people are like, well, how do I believe you? Why should I believe you? It's because it's who I am. Because of who I am, people go, I can't believe you. But they can believe random strangers on the internet. Isn't that wild? And then you could turn around and say the same thing. Well, you're believing random strangers. Yeah, but I just told you what I do. I cross-reference. I go pay attention. I read a book. I look things up. I start figuring things out. And I figure out why that makes sense to me. Or how does it make sense to me? Or could it make sense to me? And I start looking up other things. I find other podcasts. Other podcasts find me. I do no searching whatsoever on my YouTube. I just go to the recommended based on what I've watched before. And I know that there's an algorithm and it's feeding me stuff. Sometimes I think about that. And I go, man, could AI just be feeding me more and more of the same bullshit? How do I know some of these people are even real? You know what I mean? Like, some of these people might not even be real that we're watching, that we're seeing on this Instagram, that we're seeing on TikTok. Some of these people might not even be real.
Hey, let's get it, bro.
They might just be AI characters. But we don't know that. But what I do know is that the information tracks. The information is there. We are at war. We have been at war with something. But now we're figuring out who that is. Now we're figuring out who the enemy really is. It's like I told somebody the other day. I said, if it's not for us, if it's not helping us, if it's taking away from us, why would we keep putting energy into it? Think about it. I'm going to give you an example, and in this example you can take and put it on anything. If the school system really gave a fuck about our kids and really gave a fuck about their education and really wanted to fucking teach people, the food would be free. You would feed the children and you would educate the children. And there would be no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We wouldn't have corruption in the schools. We wouldn't have people touching our children if they really gave a fuck. Think about it, right? Put that together. If they really gave a fuck about us, about the children, they would take care of them. They would feed them. They would make sure they're healthy. They would get them back and forth with buses, right? Just like they do in a way. But everything's a fucking problem. Everything's oh, you make too much. You do this. You get free lunch. You don't. They just fucking divide us in so many ways. But take that concept to anything. What would they do if they really cared about you? If they really cared about you, what lengths would you go for people that you care about? You'd go through a lot of lengths for people that you care about. You'd jump a lot of hurdles. You'd crash through some doors. You know what I'm saying? So think about if the world really gave a fuck about any of us, what it would do for us. It wouldn't be doing things to us like putting bad shit in our food or putting bad shit in the air or just being evil to us in any way. That wouldn't exist. But it does. So why does it? Think about a hospital. If a hospital really gave a fuck about you, doctors really gave a fuck about you, they wouldn't put you on pills and tell you you'd be on those pills the rest of your fucking life. They wouldn't say that to you. They would say, you know what? We're going to put you on this pill. We're going to get your blood pressure down. We're going to get your fucking anxiety down. We're going to do these things. And we're going to try this for a couple of months, keep you regulated. But what I need you to do is go home and get more sun. Touch those feet to the ground. Let's get some grounding going on. I need you to change your diet. Are you a drinker? Are you a smoker? There's some things we're going to have to change. We're going to have to deal with these things. We're going to work on this. We're going to make you a better person. They wouldn't just say, take these pills for the rest of your life and keep paying me. They wouldn't say that. That tells me they don't give a fuck about you. That's the conclusion I've come to. That if they really gave a fuck about us, they do better. Because you do better. You know what I mean? Like you're not over here pushing bullshit on the people you care about. That would harm them. You know, if you had all the money in the world, you'd say you had thousands and thousands of dollars to just do whatever you wanted with. Most likely you'd take care of people. People in your family need something, you take care of it. You know, your mom needs something, take care of it. Your aunt needs something, take care of it. You know what I mean? Like that's what you would do because you're a good person. If you're not a good person, you hoard the wealth like these fucking billionaires who have all this fucking money. But you know what they're doing with it? They're using it to fucking do bioengineer shit to go against you. To try and destroy you. To dim out the fucking sun. This is what they're saying. They're taking their billions of dollars and they're trying to dim out the sun for climate change. The fuck out of here. You know, a lot of that money, we just had it a couple months ago. They fucking sent these women into space on a fucking mission for what? What was that all about? What was accomplished? You could have used that money for so many other things. But these billionaires don't give a fuck about you. Because if they did, they'd be spreading that money out amongst the people in food, in aid, in humanitarian. They say they go over to other countries and do it. What the fuck you doing over there? We got a lot of shit going on over here too. Because if they really gave a fuck, they'd be doing stuff for you. You see what I'm saying? Because you know if you had that same opportunity, you'd do it different. That's how you know you're a good person.
Hey, let's get it, bro.
Come on. Because I know. I've been talking, we've been talking about wealth coming. They owe us money. They're hiding it. We have TDA accounts. Do you know what these things are? We have bonds in our names. Go look up your shit. Go take that number on the back of your Social Security card. It starts with a letter, and it's like 7 other numbers after that. Go take that, and depending on your age, I'm trying to remember. I'm gonna have to find this, but depending on your age, you have to look at what I think it's E bonds if you're over 60. I think if you're under 60, it's EE bonds, and then I think if you're like young, you know, like under 20 or something like that at this point, it'd be the newest bonds, I bonds or something like that. But anyways, but you look up, go look up bonds, right? Go look up EE bonds, denomination of 10,000. And then put your fucking red letter code, that red letter code on the back of your Social Security, put that in as what the bond number is. And then the date, it'll ask you for a date. The date is the date of your birthday. That's when that bond was created. And hit fucking go on that bitch. And watch what it says. It says that thing matured 20 some years ago, depending on your age, right? Says it matured 20 some years ago. It's worth like $400,000. Just that one bond. And they've taken out multiple fucking bonds on you throughout your life. Every time you got a new job, bond. Every time you went did some other shit, bond. They were buying bonds for you over your whole lifetime. Every time you probably, change grades, they probably bought a bond on you. Who knows what they're fucking doing? Because they wasn't fucking telling you. So who knows what the fuck they were really up to? How many bonds are out there? Which means most of these bonds and accounts at this point are worth millions. It's money you were supposed to be able to use, but they didn't tell you about it. Look it up. It's called TDA accounts, but they didn't tell you about it. But every time you why do you think every time you buy a car or a house or you take out a loan, you have to give them your Social Security number? Why would you have to do that? It's because they're going into your account and they're taking the money from your account and then telling you that you owe them money after they already took it. So they're getting double the payment. This is how these motherfuckers are operating. This is some fraud shit.
Hey, let's get it, bro.
That's the fraud behind the background. In the background that we've never seen. We're wondering where all this money is. They got all this money, but we don't got it. Where's all this? Where is all this money that we send to Ukraine? Where's all this money that we send to Taiwan? Where's all this money that we're 36 trillion in debt too? What? And you're worried about my fucking credit score? And the fucking country is 36 trillion in debt? I'm telling you. That makes me want to go out right now and just spend on all these cars and say, fuck them. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? You know what I mean? Like, that's what makes you want to do this shit, but that's not the way to do it. But it makes you want to do shit like that. Just go take out a few credit cards, buy them up, and say, fuck off. send it to the fucking creditors because it's already paid for. They only give you that credit based on the money that they pull out of your account. So when you thinking, oh, they gave me a 40,000 credit. Yeah, because they probably pulled out $100,000 on you, on your shit, and then put that as collateral and you're just paying them. But they got your money already because you didn't have access to these accounts, but they do. But we're changing all that. That's part of the money we've been talking about, is you got to get access to your account. What do you think you have a social security number for? That's your account number. That social security card was one bond, and they've taken out multiple, who knows how many, like we said, who knows how many fucking bonds. That's one bond that they took out on you, and you're holding it. It's called a social security card, and on the front is another 9-digit. Is it 9? It's 9 digits. That social security number is your account number. Here's the crazy part. If you had a routing number and you have the account number, that's all you need. And you have access. But the thing is how do you get the routing number? Because you don't know where your bonds are being held at. What bank? Could be any bank in the world. But if you knew that routing number, because you already have the account number and the name on the front of that, on your social security card, that's the name on the account. So it belongs to you. It's your money that they never told you about. But every time something happens to you, you go to jail, you get a ticket, they pull it out of your fucking, your TDA account. That's where they get that money from. When you have to go to court, they want you to go to court so they can pull money out of it. That's what all this is. They pull money out. And then they tell you you owe it. You got to pay yourself back kind of shit. You already took my money. The fuck do I owe? And they make you pay it back to them. Crazy. Crazy fucking world we live in. The more and more shit you know what I mean? And here's the thing. Is some people will go, it's a scam. People have tried that shit. Da, da, da. Because they've always had stuff in place to block you out and to catch you trying to do things, right? And they can hit you up for fraud and all these different things that they, there's some, that's what I say. There's a couple people that within the last like 5-7 years who've gotten locked up for accessing these accounts. They figured it out in some way and they accessed their account. They pulled money out. They were able to buy things. And the darkness came after them and couldn't say what they arrested them for. Couldn't tell them what was going on. Held them for a long time before they did anything to them, and then just threw them in jail for some type of fraud shit. And it's like, what fraud was committed? Because if I accessed an account with my name on it, with the account number that I was given, how can there be any fraud? But the system's involved. So if they say, oh, yeah, you're right, well, that means we all would instantly get access to our accounts. So, of course, they have to say, oh, no, that's not how it works, for as long as they can, until they can't.
Hey, let's get it, bro.
I'm just saying, look into some shit. TDA accounts. You have a social security number for a reason. We all know this. I don't know. We ready to get into this song? Let's see what we got for you. So this one's off the Congressman album. And it's the first Congressman. We approved this message. And this song is called Assassination. And just the lyrics of this song politically, this was done in 09. 08, it came out in 09, so 08, 09 when we recorded, but it came out in 09. But yeah, just listen to the lyrics of the political lyrics that we were on at the time. It's crazy.
Thank you. Also, the plan I proposed will bring change to our economic crisis and relieve stress on the American dollar. But my regressors do not want to agree with that change.
Real dog, the game is real dog. In this life that I live, I steady give and I give. I never live it in fear, but I know my end is at near. But I keep it real dog, the game is real dog. In this life that I live, I steady give and I give. I never live it in fear, but I know my end is at near.
Death by assassination, guilty by association. Man, they just so hating, waiting for that date when they can take me off my game. But it never happened, man. I pop hoes if they get close, so hell no. What the hell, ho? Now run and tell those wanna be some fake ass ninjas. Lullaby him and sent to get some grown ass men. Touch us and you touch
Sometimes
him.
I'm paranoid, but the secret people close. These politics make us a target in the videos. I don't speak my mind, I speak for the people. Two wrongs don't make it right, but it make it equal. It's time to infiltrate and make a change in the game. Intox and Prime, your motherfucking congressman, causing panic on the hill for the common folk, demanding answers while the motherfucking levees broke.
Haters trying to bug the game, real ass niggas will remain. Yes, I be that brother or that uncle. Say me the first name, Lorenzo. Tell them fools to bring it home. Pistol under the pillow, who kick though get killed ho. Roll with drill ass niggas that be trigger happy, hella nervous and eye for an eye. If you tell a lie, tell a better lie. Politic game, gotta polish it aim. We cleaning up the country, better holler at us, man.
It's real dog, the game is real dog. In this life that I live, I steady give and I give. I never live it in fear, but I know my end is at near. But I keep it real dog, the game is real dog. In this life that I live, I steady give and I give. I never live it in fear, but I know my end is at near.
Secret societies of all varieties, running the government, wondering where money went. I know it's politics, embargoes, and borderline sex, money, drugs, it's party time. That's where your money goes, that's what's in videos. Donkey and elephant make way for the Billy Goat. As we bully the Congress and eat up the Senate, it's the congressmen who keep the real represented.
They say they common folk can't understand politics. Now that's the reason why the electoral bullshit exists. I raise my fist and then I say let's get it. It'll be hell on earth if you ain't down with it. Get it? Ignorant, belligerent. Take your faction with no sentiment. Get the Senate intimate. Pull a veto like I was Michael Corleone.
I pledge allegiance to the sick and starving in the streets. Where the fuck was FEMA when the sick and starving need to eat? This is the land of the free, home of the brave. Instead of freedom, we dying over platinum change. But who's responsible for all the population's issues? Drugs and alcohol and all the mamas holding tissues. I'm sick and tired of being so sick and tired. It's time to say it, the government is fucking fired.
It's real dog, the game is real dog. In this life that I live, I steady give and I give. I never live it in fear, but I know my end is at near. But I keep it real dog, the game is real dog. In this life that I live, I steady give and I give. I never live it in fear, but I know my end is at near.
See? Even back then, I was like, fuck the government. You're fucking fired. So that's why I say this is not some new shit. You know, that's I just show y'all stuff like that to be able to say, you know, I've always been against the system. The system has I've always had a problem with it. I never felt like it was right. It just didn't feel right. You know, and then in the end, I came up with I was able to figure out what we talked about earlier. If it doesn't serve us, then what the fuck is it doing? Because every time we turn around, the laws are against us. Every time we turn around, it's another fucking restriction. none of this is serving us. It's just fucking restricting us from everything. So yeah, you see that's, you know what I mean? Talking about the levies and, you know what I mean? We were talking about everything back then. Just the same as we're doing now. Except for it's on a bigger scale. It's on a bigger idea. Even then I said, what the fuck was FEMA when a sick and starving need to eat? They did it back then. They're doing it now. We saw it in the last couple of, hurricanes and floods and things we've had. FEMA ain't never did shit. We figured that out. What the fuck are they doing with a $6 billion budget? The fuck's that all about? Who's looking into that? What happened to Doge? Where'd Doge go? They're not looking into shit no more? Where the fuck have these guys gone? Nobody's talking about them anymore. Nobody's going, oh, Doge is looking into my shit. They're going to steal my fucking 401k. Where's the fuck these people at? I ain't see them no more. We forgot about them. Who else is in here? Who else? What else can you think about? It's like people just whine. That's what they do. You can't listen to everything and everybody. They're just fucking whiners. That's the part of this that we really need to understand, right? Is now that we know where the bullshit's coming from, you just disconnect yourself from the bullshit. You're just like, yeah, I'm not doing that anymore. Yeah, I'm doing something else. I'm not fucking with that. So, it's like, why are you still paying taxes to a corrupt government? Why? Are you fucking scared? If you're scared, then fucking say you're scared. Otherwise, fuck them.
Hey, let's get it, bro.
You know what I mean? And it's like, if we know things are fraud, why are we still dealing with it? Fuck it. Push it out the way. You see how quick and easy these little places that your little corner stores and retail start just dropping off. All of a sudden, a lot of that stuff over the last since COVID, everything's just falling apart. At least that's what it seems like, right? That's one way to look at it. But another way to look at it is it's being cleansed. Those places didn't need to exist anyways. Something was wrong with those places. They were probably part of the trafficking network for all we fucking know. Good riddance, Big Lots. See you later. Didn't need you. You know what I mean? Whatever. Different ones. I'm not picking on any one particular, but I'm just trying to throw it out there. You're looking at all these big retail stores, Sears and different ones, all falling apart. It's like your only crazy anchor stores nowadays are like Dillard's or Nordstrom's, places that sell clothes and fine things and suits and jewelry, things that sustain, things that people want, not this fucking random bullshit you're selling, or at least attempting to say you're selling. It's just a fucking front. Most of these fucking stores out here were just fronts. That's why they were so franchised everywhere. That's why you fucking seen all of a sudden every corner has a fucking this and a corner has this and every corner has this, because it was too much. There was too much. There was no way all that was being sustained. Just like they talk about our food now. They talk about that that if you looked at all these fucking Burger King, Arby's, McDonald's, if they sell millions of burgers every fucking day. Every fucking day. You think there's that much beef out here? You think they're just... How much fucking beef would they have to slaughter in order to keep that up? Because they're rarely out. Yeah, they're out of lettuce every now and again. Yeah, they're out of this. But they're rarely out of burgers. Burgers don't just stop. And they're just like, that whole business would decline in 2 days if they couldn't have burgers for 2 days. You know what I mean? Like no one would buy anything. Well, nowadays you'd probably go get the chicken sandwich, I'm sure, but but that's what I'm saying, right? So what are they sustaining on? A lot of people are saying there could be some human DNA in there. Where else are they going to get the meat from? We've talked about it here. We're being harvested. There's a portion of us that are being harvested. That was going on. That's been going on. That's part of what this is. It's just control. And then another fucking, species fucking comes in and goes, we can control these motherfuckers. Plus we can fucking traffic them. Plus we can do all these different things. Because we're not going anywhere. We keep replicating. We keep coming back. That's the part they didn't understand. You can't exterminate us. We'll just keep coming back. Guardians of the Galaxy. We're here. We're taking care of this shit. That's what we're doing. That's what all this is. We're taking care of this shit. Just know. That's what we've talked about all these times, different shows. Everything is surface level. Everything they're doing is surface level. There's so many things happening underneath that we just don't even fully understand yet. That's why they always talk about it's a psyop on top of a psyop on top of a psyop on top of a psyop. So we don't know, we really don't know what to believe. We could be on one district on a larger fucking planet. And that's why we see things as level, because our angle, our perception at the time of where we're at looks flat. But that doesn't mean we're on an Earth that's a lot bigger. We're just one little fucking section being told we're the whole thing. Could be that simple. Or that complex. It's like, we're just, all our information is what we're being fed. Nobody knows any of this stuff. This is the information we're being fed. There's certain things we just know because that's what they told us. Most of the things I know about the Earth, per se, coming up, came from the fucking books and stuff that I read in kindergarten and up to, middle school or whatever. It's like third, fourth grade. That's when you had to do your little fucking, you had to do your construction project. You had to put the sun in the middle and all the little planets around it and everything. And they all had to be to scale. And you did it with chicken wire or some shit, I don't remember. And you hung these little fucking planets around this fucking sun. And that's because they told us that's what it was. We didn't ask any questions. We didn't go, wait a minute, are you sure? We just said, yeah, it's right here in the book. This is what we're sure about. That's what they told us they were sure about. How do we trust anybody? Because now we know it's not what that fucking book said when I was a kid. Maybe y'all got a different information. I don't know. Because do we have an iron core? Is there an iron core with the magma around it? That's what they told us was in the Earth. An iron core, magma, Earth. That's it. They justified it with volcanoes. And I'm like, oh yeah, fucking lava comes out. There it is. You can tie all these things. The more and more you look at things, you just start realizing, wait a minute, this goes with this and this and this. And you're like, but if it's this, if quantum mechanics and quantum has now said different things, and you're like, it doesn't make sense anymore. You have to relook at it. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying believe me. Like I said, just like anybody else, you don't have to believe. Just because you don't believe doesn't mean it ain't true. But you just never heard it like this before. It's like I heard somebody say, a smart motherfucker sounds like a dumb motherfucker to a stupid motherfucker. And when you don't know nothing, you're just stupid at that point. You don't know nothing. And so everything to you either sounds amazing or sounds outrageous. I mean, that's really it. That's the only two choices you have. I'm at the point where everything I start to hear sounds amazing. And I'm like, holy shit, I should go check that out. Holy shit, that makes sense. Why does that make sense to me? Or I knew that already. Why did I know that? Or whatever. You know, however it fucking hits you, however those thoughts hit you. Wake up from a dream and you're like, what the fuck? How did I know that already? Or what? Or don't even. Nowadays, I have a lot of dreams. Here's the thing. I don't know. I don't even know if I should fucking tell y'all this. But I know over the past 3 or 4 months, I've relived like 3 or 4 different days. I don't know how to explain it. And it's not like I woke up in the morning and, you know, started the day like that fucking groundhog type shit, right? It's not like that. The only reason I realized I relived these days was because there were certain things I did that day that were different. And I noticed it because I had 3 to 4 deja vus throughout the day. And those deja vus were the different parts. It was the parts I remembered doing before. Everything else in between was stuff that was new to me. So it was like I was working a different timeline, but every time I got to the section I needed to, deja vu. And I was like, whoa, how did I remember doing this already? And I'd be like, yo, didn't we just do this like 2 days ago? And they'd be like, no. It's just like, what do you mean? They're like, we're here right now. And I'm like, no, did we do this like 2 days ago? And I'm like, I either dreamed it or I just had a deja vu because I remembered having a memory of that. I don't know how to explain it. That's why I'm like, I don't even know if I should tell y'all this, because I'm not even sure if I can explain it. But it's just, it was almost like a reverse deja vu. You know what I mean? Because it was like when I saw the deja vu, it was a memory I had. I instantly had a memory to it. And I go, oh, I remember doing that. How do I remember doing that when I'm doing it right now? There was another example. I'm going through my day. I'm watching some YouTube stuff. I think there was like a Rick Ross video or something. This was probably like 3-4 months ago. This was like a Rick Ross video that popped up or something. And so I clicked on it. This is how I remember it. And so I clicked on it, I watched that, and then after that, I backed out and I moved over a couple spots to check checking what's in the recommended area. And there was another artist, I can't remember who it was, and I clicked on that and watched that. And so, and then, ended up finishing the night, whatever. Like 3-4 days later, I'm happen to be same kind of time frame, and I'm watching YouTube videos, and I'm scrolling through, and that Rick Ross video pops up, and I'm going, why would this pop up? I already watched this. So I click on it, and I'm thinking maybe it could be a different video. So I click on it, and it goes, and I'm like, no, this is the same exact video. So I go, when did this come out? This had to come out like last week. So I look at it, it says it came out an hour ago. From the same, and I'm looking at it, it's Rick Ross's channel. And so I'm like, it's the same, it's like Rick Ross Vivo or some shit like that, or some shit, I don't remember specifically. Because like I said, I'm not watching all his fucking videos, I just happened to watch that one. And then I watched the different, and so then I leave that one, because I'm like, I watched this already. So I back out. I scroll over 2 more, and it's that same artist I was talking about before. It's that video, and I go, I definitely have done this before. Click on it. Play the video, and I'm like, it's the same video. Why would the same 2 videos be? And then I look at it, I'm going, this must have came out last week. It's gaming me somehow. And I look at it, it says the same thing. Came out 3 hours ago. I was like, what is going on here? I'm reliving a fucking day somehow. And I go, but I'm only remembering certain things throughout the day, but I just did it like a couple days ago. That's the thought I have. I don't know if I was really there a couple days ago, if I dreamed this, if I just shifted. So I don't know what it is. So what I've come to think, what I've logically put it together is I must be reliving the day because I remember doing it 2 days ago. So it's kind of like I caught the time loop because it probably, things like that have probably happened before in my life, or, it has happened before in my life, but I didn't recognize it as that. Growing up, I've had the moments where I've either dreamed it or seen it or deja vu'd it. But back then I didn't have any information. Nobody was telling me anything. Matter of fact, I don't even remember when I learned the word deja vu. And it was like, oh, is that what that's called? I didn't know what it was. Things would just happen sometimes. You know what I mean? Was I manifesting it? Was I doing, yeah, probably was doing all these things. But nobody was explaining any of it to me. So the only way, you know what I mean? So once I got an idea of, oh, that's deja vu. Deja vu's a thing when you see things. Okay. It started making sense to me as I was coming up. I was starting to grow and learn. But now, that's what I'm saying. I caught the time loop. That I had a deja vu moment where it left a thought to make me think I just did that 2 days ago. And I'm like, I know that sounds crazy. Because it sounds crazy to me. Because I'm like, did I actually do that or did I dream that? And then it happened. But either way, if I dreamed it, why would I dream it? Where would that come from, right? And then it happens. Everybody does that. But then I have a deja vu moment and I instantly have a thought, I just did this 2 days ago or a couple days ago or whatever it was. It was like, how do I remember this? Why do I remember this right now? It's weird. I still think it's weird, but I don't know how to interpret. That's the problem. I need to understand how to interpret it better. Something's there. Something's coming through. I need to learn how to understand it better. See? I mean, I knew that, but I'm just trying to say, what is this supposed to be telling me? That's what I got to figure out. What is it telling me? Because sometimes I'm just like, okay, I get it. There's a lot of deja vu and movement and memories of things, but what does it all mean? That's what I got to work on. Thanks for coming to my therapy session. Episode 135, Intox, holding it down. Thanks for sticking around. I went through some rants. I was long-winded there for a second. I don't know. Were y'all with me? Was it getting serious? Was it getting wild? I don't know. What's going on with y'all out there? Throw something in the comments. Let me know. Ask me a question like tell me what do you think about this or what do you think about that? And I'll down in the comments, let's talk. Yeah, that I don't know if y'all noticed, but there was a documentary we put out a while back called A Quiet Journey. That thing has gotten over 10,000 hits and 200 comments. We are fucking having a conversation over there. Go check it out. There's conversations to be had. So we're just, you know what I mean? This is the cool shit. This is how it can go down. Go check it out. A Quiet Journey. It's on our page. It'll be under, I think, the tribute section, playlist, the tribute playlist. If it's buried deep or something, because it'll probably be right up at the top as one of our top fucking videos at this point. But yeah, and go watch it for one. Go get some information, check it out. But check out the comment section. The comment section's wild. We're having a good time over there. So yeah, in case you didn't know, on YouTube, this is on YouTube, because everybody's gonna be like, "What comment section on Spotify and Amazon and shit?" No, on YouTube. I gotta clarify that sometimes. I know there's a couple times I've said certain things about numbers or different whatever, and I'm mainly talking to the YouTube crowd, because that's, for me, that's where the biggest area is for us. But I'm not saying that to leave everybody out or anything. How you watch it is how you watch it, and I appreciate that from every angle. You know what I mean? From every angle. It's cool. But yeah, I mean, hey, start some shit over there, man. Maybe I'll fucking find it. You know what I'm saying? We'll have some conversations either way. Shoot me a comment anywhere, you know. Or even go check out the fucking Instagram at ppeintox. You know what I mean? Find me on Instagram. And the AwkwardIntel, at AwkwardIntel. That one's on there as well. And go look up BDot too. IMG_BDot. Come on. But if you went to ppeinmusic.com or elevateyourlife.site, you'd have this information. So yeah, that's for all the newbies out there. If they don't know where to look. ppeinmusic.com. Oh, earlier? I don't remember. But I talked about alligator Alcatraz for a second. And we were talking, because then I went off into researching and doing that. So I didn't tell y'all. But one of our own, Mr. Prim, did some research. He drove on down to Alligator Alcatraz and checked it out. He's got a video over on TikTok. You can find him. I don't even know what his TikTok is, man. I don't even be over there. But you know what I'll do? I'll pop it in right here.
Reporting live from Alligator Alcatraz. Look at it, folks. Alligator Alcatraz.
Can't even answer.
There's people protesting. The state troopers out here. I'm about to go down and see what we can see down the road. It looks like they're not letting everybody go down that road. See you, buddy.
German. I knew it was German. I knew it was. I got a mosquito on me.
Ready?
Yep. Yeah, I got it though. And no blood. Did you see?
Oh, I feel him. Oh man, I thought this was somebody else's shit.
Look, one got in the car.
A couple of them.
And mosquitoes too. There's a.
Dang, they got in this bitch. Mosquitoes is real, folks. Yeah. We just finished our examination of Alligator Alcatraz as far as we could get in there. And I'm gonna tell you one thing. They need to do something about these motherfucking mosquitoes out here. It's worse than the immigrants.
You're not gonna put that out.
Fuck that shit. They need to come out here and spray some shit. Cause the mosquito life is real. I think I got bit like 12 times.
Yeah.
And I was only standing out there for like 5 minutes. We got people protesting.
Reporting behind you.
We got people reporting live. on the scene.
Telemundo.
We about to leave because we got in the car because the mosquitoes is real.
That's Telemundo.
We got a state trooper. He's not doing much. He's just directing traffic. But down the road on the footage I got earlier, you can see that they're turning people around. You can't go all the way down into the complex. But it looks like only one way in, one way out. Thanks to Donald J. Trump. Signing off. It's your boy, Ren. What was my name back? What was my reporting name back in the day? Signing off. This is Ike Burner reporting live, and we out.
But yeah, so I popped the video in. Hope y'all enjoyed that. And moving on. Yeah. So just to reiterate, yeah, just when you have friends in the military, when you have friends across the country, when you have family in different areas, that's how you do some of your research. And then even people who come from different areas. You have people from the South, you have people from California, you have people from, Midwest, people you know. And so you can ask these people questions when things are happening in the world and when stuff's going down or when they're saying, oh, this happened over here. And then you can call those people and go, yo, when you was over there, was that there? Did they have this? You know what I mean? And people can go, oh, it did happen or it didn't happen. That's the idea of getting online with friends and finding people around the country to talk to and have conversations like this with us at AwkwardIntel and leave it in the comments. And we can have these discussions and say, well, what about this? What about that? You're in this area. I'm in that area. You're in New Zealand. You're in Australia. You're in, different places, Thailand. And we can get information from these places instantly through our own chats and stuff like that. Crazy, right? Crazy how you can use the internet to your advantage if you just fucking know what you're doing. That's what they didn't expect. That's what they didn't expect from the Guardians of the Galaxy. They didn't expect that we would take their technology and turn it around and use it to have our voice spread across the world so that people can find us and we can find each other, because some of us are scattered on purpose in order to unite everybody and to get the vibes up and to grow.
Hey, let's get it, bro.
So yeah, that's what we're doing. We got to get free. We are free. Come on, stop. We are free. You just got to take it back. Quit being a bitch. Take it back. Don't let them keep fucking stomping on you. Stop. Let's go. When are you going to fucking revolt? When is it going to happen? When are you going to stop? You got to protest. Everybody's out here protesting in the streets, right? What's that ever got us? What's it really ever done? They just steal your energy through that shit. They want you to fucking play with their shit. All the protests are fucking put together on purpose for whatever fucking reasons and satanic shit they want to do. The real protest is you hit them where it fucking hurts. Stop paying your mortgage. Stop buying from these grocery stores. Grow your own food. Stop. Everything you can do on your own, you start doing it. And of course, it's going to be, we got to work and we got to do this and our kids got fucking baseball and, I get it. That's the life. That's you caught in the matrix. And if that's how you want to live, by all means, do your thing. Well, you know what I mean? But the rest of us are out here working, putting shit together. That's all I'm saying. It is what it is. We're just on different angles. But go get access to those accounts we talked about. And then you'll have the time to do what I'm talking about. See, because that's the problem. It's the financials. That's what holds us down the most, is because financially in this world, if you can't hold yourself at a certain level, basically you're locked out of it. You're locked out of connecting with anybody. That's crazy how they put a fucking pay gap on that And just like, if you're not a certain level, you can't even interact with people, you know, and that's the thing. Maybe you don't need to, because there's some people who are better off doing their own shit. They're not sick. They're not fucked up. They're not fucking addicted to things, because they're out there fucking working and building their bamboo shits and fucking, you know, going out and fishing on their little fucking canoes and shit like that. They don't give a fuck about the rest of this shit. They might be on the phone a little bit or something, internet or something maybe. I'm sure they got Starlink and shit by now, right? Some of these little places are starting to get some stuff like that. But otherwise, yeah, they're not fucking worried about the rest of this fucking world. They're just living their dream. Just getting by. But happy and building a family and don't got any real stresses. Just got to go out and get a few fish. That's it. Then we can party. Yeah. I don't know. There's so many things, because you got to think too. There's like tribes that are still tribes that have never interacted with anybody. How the fuck does that happen? It's just islands and different places where these fuckers are, and nobody's fucking with them. But they over here trying to fucking hit me up for a credit score and shit, right? Fucking weird. It's a weird world, man. That's all I'm saying. It's a weird world out there. There's a lot going on. You can ignore it. A lot of people do. You can ignore it. I can't now. I put the glasses on. And once I put the glasses on, you can't take them off. That's what Dick Gregory said. Once you get the glasses, you can't take them off. It sucks. There's a point to it where it sucks. You're just like, fuck. If I wasn't so aware, if I didn't understand it so much, it wouldn't fucking bother me as much. You know what I mean? I'd just be oblivious to it. Just like I was oblivious to so much shit before. That's what I'm thinking, you know. I don't know. Was it a better world? Was I better off? Was I comfortably numb? You know, I don't know. Nah, I love this shit, man. This shit's fucking crazy. Come on, stop. That's why I do it. Fucking 135 episodes, and I'd just be like fucking, you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna give up now. At this point, it's like a fucking challenge. It's almost like they gotta shut me up. I'm just gonna keep going. You know what I mean? Like, that's where I'm at this point. Is I'm like, I'm just going to keep going. And it's like, you're going to have to either shut me up or somebody's going to start listening. That's where I'm at.
Hey, let's get it, bro.
It's like that little fucking hidden radio channel out there somewhere, you know what I mean? He's just fucking barely fucking cranking out some watts on some little fucking RV out in the desert, you know, and just fucking spitting his game. And there's somebody comes along and finds it. That's all you need. You take that one message and you move it to the next, and it spreads on its own. You know, who knows? This is where we could be getting some of this fucking information. If somebody's out there just fucking knows where these little fucking small channels are, they're tuning into these bitches and getting this fucking info, and we just don't even know. It's fucking out there. We just don't know where to get it. I don't know how anybody gets their information. They call it downloads. Some people just get downloads. Dreams, you know what I mean? Shit like that. Nightmares, whatever. All that shit makes sense somehow. And if you know how to fucking interpret it, you're better off. Or you could be. I don't know. Maybe now you know too much. Could you know too much? I don't know. I'm just asking the questions. I'm just here to answer the questions. What'd I say? I'm just here to ask the questions. That's what I meant to say. That's what I thought I said. I don't know. Came out weird. Yeah. I don't know. Where do we go? Where do we go from here? What's the next steps? That's what everybody would ask. What's the next steps? Well, that's what I've been saying. Put your foot down somewhere. Take your sovereignty back. Get away from some shit. there's something in your life that you're doing that's feeding the system. Just try to figure out how to get away from that shit. Start doing some research. Start looking into some things. If you're into it, I don't know. It's up to you. It's your world. You're creating it. You're figuring it out. Thank you for stopping by. At this point, if you're still watching and you get that from, I don't know. You might be clicking through. If you're clicking through, that's what that's for. If you're clicking through, somebody will come to it and they'll be, thanks for stopping by. And they'll be like, oh, shit. It'll get somebody. I don't know. Somebody, that's the thing, is like different things you're watching and seeing and throughout the world and you're experiencing is most of it means something. You're not seeing and doing all these things for nothing. You know, it's kind of like when I talked about going to Macon, Georgia, you know, and going to the Okomogi Mounds, you know, and going to that. I don't even know how to say it. I made that up, but I think that's what it was. You know, going back there and seeing that and walking on those lands, to me, it felt like I was supposed to be there, and I was picking up something from that. That's what it felt like to me, just naturally. It's not like I thought about it or anything. I just was like, I'm here. And I was like, I'm walking around and I'm like looking around, I'm taking pictures and I'm going, I'm supposed to be here to gather something. The energies are gathering right now. That's what I felt while I was there. And so it was just interesting. And I was like, I'm supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be walking around. I'm supposed to be in this area soaking up this energy. And the one thing I didn't do, and I thought about it and I was like, damn it, I should have grounded for at least 5-10 minutes or something. I just didn't trust it out there. I was like, I don't know, you know. But I did see some other people grounding when I left, and that's why I was like, damn it, I should have did it. So, my mistake. But I got close. I was wearing good. I was wearing my cool shoes. You know what I mean? So I don't think I had. Did I have? No, those had a rubber sole. Yeah, they did. But I was there for a reason. And what's the other crazy part about that I don't think I shared before was that one of my best friends, Nonstop, shout out to Nonstop, he grew up there, and out of all the fucking cities in the world, something pulled me there, and I knew why. It was because I had to experience something there, and you know we go to these places for a reason. These places pull us. We get pulled to these places for a reason. Everywhere you go, you know, for whatever reason, these places you're being pulled to these places for whatever reason. And so, interesting. Out of all the cities in the world that I could have went to, that's the one I went to. And so, So, what does it all mean? Nothing. Maybe. I don't know. Thanks for asking, though. Oh, man. Yeah. But I think this was good. This was a good little therapy session. And I think for the most part, I feel like I got out the information I needed to get out. I spewed that. I've done some things, you know. That's what, you know, like I said, this is kind of a therapy session for me as we go through these things. And I don't know. It's like I started out a little iffy on this episode because I didn't know where I wanted to go with it, because I'm kind of just talking to myself right now, even though I'm talking to the world. So, you know, it's like when BDot's here, I have the pause. I know to pause and give him a moment, or he'll jump in or something. And so you have that dynamic. when you don't have that dynamic, it's different because it's like, I mean, you've heard it in this episode at this point, is there's a lot of pauses. For one, I want to gather my thoughts properly because I'm the only one here. If I make too big of a mistake, I don't have somebody who can jump in. That's the idea, right? And so I'm pausing a little bit. I'm slower with my talk. I'm not as fast, trying to get it out, because I want to make sure I'm clear and I can keep my thoughts rolling, and I don't have like forgetful thoughts like I've been having the past few episodes. And I think that's happening because I'm thinking of things so fast that it's like if I don't say the thing I need to say, I've already moved on and went somewhere else. I've just moved beyond that, and I'm ready to go on to the next thing. And it's like, shit, I didn't even say the thing I wanted to say. But then it comes back. Most of the time it comes around. We figure it out. Sometimes after the episode's over, one of us will be like, oh, shit, remember when I was talking about that? It'll come back. So sometimes you missed it. But yeah, there's been some episodes where we forgot some shit and then we just moved the fuck on. But yeah. So yeah, if you hung out for the past hour and some change, hope you learned something. Hope you could, hope I opened up your mind a little bit. And we'll do it again sometime. Awkward Intelligence. I'm Intox. BDot will be back next week. We'll holler at you.
Awkward Intelligence. Just smoking vibes. This is Awkward Intelligence. Just smoking vibes.